Monique Landes, Amrop Carmichael Fisher, bringing you My Career in Six, an opportunity for our community to start their day with inspirational female leaders as they impart their pearls of wisdom. And this morning, I'm joined by the lovely Carolyn Breeze, Managing Director, GoCardless. Carolyn, thank you for joining us. It's really appreciated. And will you offer a few words of introduction?
First of all, thank you for having me. I think this is a great initiative. So yes, GM of GoCardless for the last couple of years, and prior to that, leading Braintree for Australia. So a few years in payments.
Perfect. Well, today we're hoping to gain your insights, particularly around career journey. So I might start with a few quick response questions, looking really for 1 or 2 word answers, and then we can delve a little further if that suits.
Sure.
Okay. Who or what inspires you?
Definitely my team.
I love that. And that's exactly what I expect from you. Do you attribute your success to luck or hard work?
Hard work. I think even at times where I've assumed that luck has played a part, it's been hard work that's put me in the position to get lucky. So definitely hard work.
Mm-hmm. What propels you forward?
Innovation. I love working for companies that drive real change.
None of that surprises me. Favorite quote or motto that you live by?
I found this really hard to get it down to one, so I'm going to give you 2.
Okay.
What's meant for you won't pass you. And the other is be kind. Everyone's fighting a battle. But I thought I'd also share with you that on my arm, I have my 4 words that are my mantra. So strength, loyalty, energy, and passion are the values that I live by.
I love that. And I've got goosebumps. I've really got goosebumps now. I don't know how to move forward from that. Tell me, when applying for a new opportunity, what percentage of attributes do you feel that you need to have deep experience in to be confident in your application?
Yeah, I love this question because it can take a whole different tangent, something that I'm really passionate about. Every role is different. However, I would say that if you meet the criteria with transferable skills for about 20 to 30% of that JD, then, and there's also something that you don't fully understand in the JD, something that you want to learn, something that will develop you, then that's the role to go for. I think a lot of people think they need to meet the criteria of the JD to move forward, but I look at them as an opportunity to learn. And I think that's a better approach than pulling yourself out. And everybody knows as well, even the most well-written JDs don't always encapsulate what the day-to-day running of that role will be like. And so I would just throw yourself in head first.
Okay, you've given us confidence. Last quick question. Coolest payments company today, and you can't say GoCardless. That's cool.
So I've got a couple of favorites. It's such a fantastic time in fintech and payments at the moment. With open banking coming, there's some great companies that are building a lot of momentum off that. So AdaTree is one that I'm absolutely fascinated by. Basic, but of course, from a technology standpoint, what excites me the most is MPP, particularly the launch of Pay2 next year.
I'm going to delve now. So if I ask you, what's been your biggest challenge as you've climbed the ladder in the payments industry?
I think my biggest challenge has actually been work-life balance, and understanding and recognizing when I'm starting to redline in myself, and then learning what works for me as proper, like purposeful time out to recharge, not just taking off a Friday and having a long weekend, not just closing the laptop at 7 p.m. that night, but what is proper recharge time for Carolyn, and how do I make sure I fit that into my life in advance of burning out? And then I think the second part to that is, as a leader, is understanding how to recognize that in other people and help other people have the self-awareness to know when they're getting to that point, and the confidence to discover what recharges them and the empowerment to go and do that.
Really interesting. Will you now take me through your greatest accomplishment in your career?
I would have to say what I love about the role that I play in organizations the most, and what I feel best about, is my ability to build teams. I love building teams. particularly sales teams. And when I join a business, particularly in the last 2 roles that I've had, they've been quite lean and small, and they've grown into quite large organizations. And I've always worked for international companies as well. So there's a culture to be delivered, but there's also a way to enhance that culture. And I've really enjoyed building those teams. And that's definitely, what I would like to accomplish in every role moving forward.
If there's one thing you could have done differently, what would that have been? And leading on from that, what advice would you give to aspiring, I should say, female professionals in this industry?
I think if I could give myself some advice going backwards, it would be to be a louder champion of health and well-being earlier on in my career. I think that when you're starting out or you're developing through your career and you're maybe not a leader yet, or not the leader you aspire to be, I think sometimes we don't feel like we have the confidence to lead anyway within our role and within our organisation. And I wish that I had felt that confidence earlier in my career and been a bigger champion for a few things. Workplace harassment and health and wellbeing would definitely be the top 2 for me when I look back over my career. I would say, if I think about advice I'd give to my female colleagues in the payments industry, there's a saying that I love that is, real queens fix each other's crowns. And my advice would be that to collaborate and support endlessly the other females within your organisation and your industry. The more that we move forward as one, the more that we move forward as a group. And also just to have that confidence in yourself. Take those challenging roles. Speak up, take roles that are purposeful, that mean something to you, make those career decisions for the right reasons, and take care of yourself and others. Be kind to yourself.
You really inspired me today. Leading on from that, I suppose the next thing is, and it sounds like a lot, what have you done to bring others along on the journey?
Yeah, so I mentor a lot of people, and when people say that, it can sound a little bit, arrogant or egotistical. I just need to be really clear. I'm sure I get way more out of it than they get out of me. I love working with particularly young women that are trying to drive their careers forward. So I try and give back in that way. And I look back at really difficult times in my career when I was either having a hard time at work or trying to make a decision. And I wish that I had people I could bounce off. And that's what I try to be for these younger women. But like I said, I get so much more back. They're like my eyes and ears, what's happening in the market and, how I should be feeling about things, with a younger mindset. But I also give back I do a lot of advisory roles for boards. I do a lot of coaching through people like StartMate that support startups in Australia and try and help them navigate the world that is payments that seems so natural to others. And so that's how I try to give back.
For me, Women in Payments is really an opportunity to collaborate. I get so much inspiration from these women. How have you found your networks and connections have assisted you on your career trajectory?
I am so lucky to have some fantastic network connections, and back to that real queens fix others crowns first. That they all come from different backgrounds with different stages of their career. So at different times when I've needed them, the right person I've reached out to and they've kind of jumped in. So they're a very diverse group of women and men with very diverse backgrounds and opinions. And there's nothing like having someone that gives you the ability to zoom out and have a really serious think about, your role and give you that kind of zoom out lens and the confidence to pull back. And so I've been very, very fortunate, including the mentees, the people that I work with as well.
And lastly, as a senior female leader, how have you helped shape the culture of your organisation, and have they been open to your input?
I think as a female leader, or a leader more generally, we're seeing it more often now than not, is that I hire people that are capable of doing the job, that are passionate and want to be there. And then my role as a leader is basically to build the framework for success and get out of their way. But the key part that I think makes me unique, and I think that we have as an advantage as women, is I nurture them and nurture the culture. They believe in what we're doing. They're there for a reason. It aligns with their why. it aligns with why they're in a career as well. And so together and purposefully, we're heading towards the same goal. And I've been really fortunate that, particularly in my current role with GoCardless, that methodology and ethos aligns with the company values as well. And I've had all the support to deliver on that.
Carolyn, thank you for your time today. Thank you for your words of wisdom. You have certainly encouraged me to be braver, bolder, maybe get a tattoo with something very inspirational. Really appreciate it. I look forward to continue to collaborate with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mum.
Thank you.